we started in the last meeting on the chapter 2. Chapter 2 is mainly focused on the firms and financial markets. Okay, and we talk about the main objectives of the financial of this chapter. Let's just focus on this chart. In this chart, we have here savers and we have borrowers. Okay? Because borrowers, they don't know the savers. Okay? So borrowers need intermediate institutions, which is intermediary financial institutions. So the intermediary financial institutions are sitting in a place that facilitate the relationship between borrowers and savers, or facilitate the relationship between surplus units and deficit units, or the relationship between people, they hold the money, they have the money, and people, they need the money for investments. And in other words, the borrowers could be business or individuals are seeking the funds for investments. Okay, to invest. So the idea of financial intermediaries, this is financial intermediaries, the main task is to facilitate the relationship with them. This is one of the main tasks. And the other task, which is not mentioned in your textbook, يعني خدوا بالكم في شغلات إنه الكتاب بيكونش موجودة and you have to. Okay, لأنه I'm combining between other textbooks. Is efficiently to channel the funds. Is not only channeling the funds, is efficiently channeling the funds. For instance, if the savers, they have $1 million here, and the borrowers need $1 million. Okay? So the financial intermediaries are trying to facilitate channeling this 1 million to the borrowers at the least cost and أقل تكلفة. Why? Why they do this? To motivate investments. Okay, in this economy. So the importance of financial intermediaries are to channel the funds from the surplus to the deficit units, and in the same time is to ensure that it is efficient funds. I mean, at least cost. Okay, so the new trend now in finance, is to see whether this fund is efficient or not. It's holding higher cost or lower cost. Okay. Let's see. For instance, let's compare between the interest rates in here in West Bank and Gaza with the UK or with the United States. If you talk about the interest rates, in the United States, not more than 3%. But here in West Bank and Gaza could be reached to 18%. So there is a big gap, because the financial institutions or financial intermediaries here are less efficient. If you compare with Japan, maybe the interest rate is close to 0%. Is close to 0%, because again, the financial institutions are more efficient. If you talk about Hong Kong or Singapore, as well as the financial market are efficient. Okay, so we know about the borrowers and the savers. The financial institutions or financial intermediaries, or sometimes they call this financial marketplace. Financial marketplace. Let's focus on them. Financial intermediaries. Okay, financial intermediaries, which stands for financial intermediaries. Financial intermediaries, including different types of financial institutions. Just a question, again, very little question. Can you just consider the financial institutions? Just give me names of financial institutions here in West Bank or Gaza. Banks? Okay, banks. Let's ask you a question. This is good. Answer, banks. Which banks? Commercial banks?
Yes.
Or investment banks? Or industrial banks?
Commercial banks.
Or agriculture banks? Commercial banks. Yes. So we have commercial bank. Commercial banks are the most traditional banks. Commercial banks are the most traditional banks. What is the main task of the commercial banks? What is the main task of the commercial banks? Okay. Some student behind at the end. Okay. What is the important or what is the task of the commercial banks? Very simple question. Yes. Anyone? Yeah. Depositors? Give them loans. Okay, you are right. Yes. So this is the commercial banks. And you remember other types of banks? Or you know? Banks. I'm talking about banks. Yes. Industrial banks. Investment banks. Okay. Investment. You know what investment banks doing? What they are doing, investment banks? Yes. This area, please. I want to listen something from this place. Investment banks. Anything. Try to figure out. Sorry? Allow people to invest their money. So who prevent people to not to invest? You are right. Just I'm trying to see to what extent you understand the investment banks. Sorry? Investment bank. So what is the difference between investment bank and the commercial bank? Just, okay.
Sure, but maybe
you are not sure.
Projects, huge projects.
Yes.
Who, companies afraid from the risk. Maybe invest bank help.
Could be. Okay. Yes. Yes, helping businesses, helping in different ways. Look at the words help. It's not just only giving them funds. You want to say something?
Maybe the bank he take the responsible of making the business, but he take the money from them because they don't know how to.
Who doesn't know? The investment bank or the other businesses? The other businesses. Because investment banks are hiring the most expert people in the investments. So the first thing, the investment bank helping businesses and government about the investment, to invest or not. Because they have the knowledge, they have the experience. Okay? In addition, the investment bank give them some advising and consultation. So this is the importance of investment bank. And other things in the investment banks helping investors or helping businesses to issue the primary shares. Primary shares. يعني إصدارات أولية. You know, this is the we will go back to this area. So we know the investment banks. Okay. As you see here, we talk about commercial banks and we talk about investment banks. Yeah. Just look at your in the slides. What other institutions? What other institutions? Insurance companies. Okay, what they are doing? Insurance companies. Insurance, yes. provide insurance. So according to your definition, this is not investment. Because providing insurance is not. So why they are providing insurance? Let's just try to build this story. خلينا احنا نبني القصة. From your answers, I build the story. Why they provide insurance?
They sell the insurance to the individuals or businesses to protect them.
To protect investments.
From the risk.
Not just the insurance of cars, the insurance of the individuals, the companies, the businesses, all of these things are insured. Now, this is the definition, but how they invest. I mean, the insurance companies, if you look at here how they work, they collect premiums. Okay? They collect a premium. They collect premiums. They collect premiums from individuals and businesses. You know what it means, premiums? بياخدوا اللي هو المستحقات. بياخدوها من يعني موظف مثلا بيعمل تأمين المستقطعات. هذا بسموها premiums. يعني مثلا بنك فلسطين بيأمن على النقدية الكاش اللي عنده. شوفوا how they protect investments. They insure the cash. So if this cash is stolen, so the insurance company recover this. So they protect the investments. They insure the credit or debit cards. بيعملوا insurance for debit and credit cards. If these cards are stolen, so then the insurance companies, they recover this. So you are protecting the business. This is the main function of the insurance companies. Because of this, because they are doing this, they are collecting premiums. Okay, so premiums are pooled. Okay, are pooled. تجمع. It's like in this tank, are pooled in this tank. تجمع بهذا التانك. And because some companies, they may have risk, and they're asking for claims. يعني بتطلبوا التعويضات. يعني مثلا انسرق مثلا بنك من هالبنوك وبالتالي الانشورنس companies they have to recover this. فsome the insurance company they have to pay some of claims. So the company is coming from the premiums and going out from the claims. And still we have saving here. So the insurance companies channel the savings and giving loans. You know this? Insurance companies nowadays work similar to the commercial banks. صاروا اليوم يقدموا قروض. I give you a real example in Gaza. You know الملتزم. طيب الملتزم شو بيعملوا insurance. وفي نفس الوقت لو كنت تشتري سيارة بيعطوكم. صح ولا لا؟ loans ولا مش loans? So commercial loans. In the United States, even in the UK, they do this job because they have savings. So what they can do in these savings, they can do similar job of the commercial banks, and because the money here is less expensive than the banks, because it's coming from premiums, and the premiums is less cost than the deposit. يعني احنا بناخذ premiums من ال individual and businesses, but in the commercial bank we take deposits. In the deposit we pay interest, but in the premiums we not paying interest. So it is cheaper than the commercial banks. So this is why I said is like the efficient financial markets is important to ensure the market is efficient. And other areas in the, see here, the investment banks, we talk about insurance companies, and we will talk investment companies. We will go back to the investment companies because it is a new area in, to you as a student, and we will focus on this. Let's see they go back to our charts. So again, we have savers here, we have borrowers here. So, and here we have financial intermediaries. We know now what are the financial intermediaries. Okay? And we know the borrowers, and we say now what they are traded. What are the securities that are traded in the financial markets? So they are channeling funds. Look at here, channeling funds from savers. Sorry, from savers to the borrowers. Then borrowers pay back the money to the savers. لأنه بدهم يرجعوا مصاريهم. Okay? And this is the financial institutions doing, facilitate this. Now, what they are traded? This is the money. My question is, they pay money as cash, or how they trade the money? Yes, they securities. Yeah, securities. So the money take different forms. يعني زي احنا الماء الووتر بتاخد different forms. بتاخد ممكن حطيناها في الثلاجة حتاخد الفريزنج ثلج او تصير ليكويد او ممكن تصير بخار. At the end of the day it is a water. But here is the money, it takes different forms. It takes money and it takes capital. So we have two different forms of the money. Money, because it is short term, it's easy to convert into cash. There is a difference between money and cash? Yes. Money. What is the money and what is the cash? Just I'm stressing questions. Money liquid. Okay. And cash?
Cash what I can carry with my hand and both things about money. Everything have a value.
Security.
Okay.
Equal. Money maybe paper.
Okay. Yes.
Or share.
Maybe shares. Okay. Money is a short-term instrument. Money is a short-term instrument. يعني short-term instruments or short-term tool. يعني أداة قصيرة الأجل. Money بيسموها. Not cash. Cash is cash. This is the cash. You know the cash.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the cash. The bank notes. هذا بيسموها الورقة بالها bank notes. Cash. You have a real cash. But money could be, so it could be cash or could be not cash.
Yes. But in short term.
It takes different forms. It is short term. But it is easily converted into cash with a limited period of time with and it's in this expensive. With no particular fees or expensive. يعني الكاش هو كاش 100% معنا $100 $200 كاش. بس الماني لا هو عبارة عن نقدية بس معمولها فريزنج. معمولها ايش؟ فريزنج. So you need time to convert into cash. زي الشيك، معاكم شيك $100. هذا الشيك $100 مش $100 كاش. لازم نروح على البنك ونصرفه. طيب نصرفه بنروح على البنك ممكن يكون في مصاري وممكن ما يكونش. So you can convert into cash and you cannot.
Oh, I thought it's short term too.
So it is a short term because it is less than 1 year. يعني زي مثلا treasury bills. الماتوريتي ديت تبعت if it is exceed 1 year it is capital. هتكون capital. زي الستوكس. Like the stocks. Stocks, it is money, but it is a freezing money. You can go to the financial market and liquid the stocks and convert it into cash. But the problem is, when you liquid this, you may lose a portion of this stocks, or you may make profits. يعني ممكن نحن نربح وممكن نخسر. But in cash, it is 100% cash. So you have $100, so you convert it to $100 because it is cash. It is liquid. Okay? So securities are traded in the form of money markets, which is short term, and in the form of capital, which is a long term. Money, if you look at the money here, we have different types of money market instruments. Includes the treasury bills, commercial paper here, CDs, certificate of deposits, bankers acceptance, قبولات مصرفية. Go back to the investments, chapter 1 or 2. But generally focus on treasury bills, commercial paper, and CD. Treasury bills, it is issued by the governments to fund their operational activities for short-term activities. The commercial papers is issued by the bank to the individuals. Sorry? Treasury bills
issued
by the governments, by the central banks or the federal banks. يعني الحكومة يا بنات مثلا بدها تقبض الموظفين، معهاش مصاري. الشهر الجاي معهم مش مصاري، ايش بيسووا؟ ممكن يصدروا تراجري بيلز. ويبيعوها للحكومة، الحكومة بتشتريهم التراجري بيلز، تدفعهم المصاري. بعد 3 أشهر بروح بيسدوا الحكومة. شورت تيرم ولا لا؟ يا بس. الحكومة مثلا في عندها يعني اليوم مثلا the winter is coming. هذا كنا نشوفه مثلا بدول أوروبا. The winter is coming. مظبوط؟ And they need to fix the roads. بدهم يضبطوا الطرق. They need funds الحكومة. شو بتسوي؟ بتطرح تراجري بيلز. بيصيروا البنوك والمؤسسات تشتري هالتراجري بيلز وتدفع للحكومة المصاري. لا short term. يعني ممكن 3 شهور، بعد 4 شهور الحكومة تسدهم. And it discounted. بروح الحكومة بتاخذ المصاري بتضبط الطرق والمطارات والهذا وبتخلي الناس اوكي، وبعدين they pay back to the business. Yes. No. Yes, it has. This is you are talking about the financial policy and monetary policy. And exactly you are talking about the open market policy. انت بتحكي على الاوبن ماركت بوليسي، وهذه اخذتوها بالفاينانس اند بانكينج. نقود بنوك. Macro economics. هذا في الماكرو economics. When you talk the treasury bills, sometimes if the governments want to decrease the M1, you know what it means M1, the money supply. Yeah, they issue this, or they sell this back. So this is what you are saying. This is one of the main function of the treasury bills. But the idea of treasury bills is to fund the government short-term activities, or to run the government short activities. This is why and the other objectives, as you said, is for the open market policy. Yani if the money is inflated, you know what means inflated? If the money is inflated, the money supply, عرض النقد اللي هو M1 و M2 واقدر اسوقه اياه بالمايكرو ايكونومكس. If it is inflated, so the government are selling the treasury bills. Why? To absorb the money. حتى هم يمتصوا الفلوس الموجودة and to shrink the money supply. يخفضوها. عندكم good understanding for the treasury bills. يعني واضحة عندكم الأمور في treasury bills. كويس. So as we said, this is traded less than 1 year. Commercial papers, CDs, and bankers' acceptance. Because we are not focused on these things, just try to read around the money supply. We will talk about them in investments, which is focus on the advantages and disadvantages of each one. And my students, I don't know, they like the investment or not, because we keep focusing or go in details about these instruments. In the capital markets, we have, which is long term, we have stocks and we have bonds. We have different types of stocks. We have common stocks and we have preferred stocks. Bonds, can you count the types of bonds? Treasury bonds, yes. Corporate bonds, yeah. Yes. Carry on. Yalla, Amina. Yes. Yes. What this called? Municipal bonds. Okay. What else? Yalla, مين كمان? البونds. Junk bonds. Junk. You know about junk bonds? I explained this. Junk bonds. Sorry? Junk bonds. أول مرة تسمعوا؟ junk or junk bonds. junk إيش معنى junk؟ زبالة يعني ها؟ junk trash. junk bonds يعني هدول the high risk bonds. It's called junk bonds. Just Google it. If you know it, just Google. junk. Yes, junk هي موجودة شغلات بدناش إياها صح؟ So it is junk. So junk bonds is something we don't like because it holds high risk. Yes, you gamble on buying and selling junk bonds. Okay, this is why it's called junk bonds. Okay, municipal bonds. These bonds is local governmental bonds issued by municipals. طبعا البلديات. خلينا مثلا for instance يعني إذا قررت بلدية غزة بدها تروح تشتري معدات لتنظيف الشوارع، معدات تراكتورز وبيج كارز وبيج ماشينز وشغلات كبيرة عشان ينظفوا الشوارع. هذول المكنسات الكهربائية عارفين هذه الضخمة هذه الهيوج. هذا it needs big investment. شو؟ يا مستمع. لا يكنسوا الشوارع. يعني انا مرات بشوفهم بعد الفجر بشوف في بعض السيارات بتطلع وبتكنس الشوارع. بالضبط. فهاي اذا احنا بدنا نعمل انفستمنتس بالكلام هذا بدنا باينج تعالوا لي هان انتوا التنتين. يلا واحدة شمال وواحدة يمين. يلا بسرعة. Come on, have a seat here. Yeah. إذا هاي البلديات قررت إنه هي بدها تشتري معدات، فهاي يعني long term activities يعني النشاطات بدها مصاري كتير. فشو بده يسووا؟ بده يضطروا إنه هم يصدروا سندات. بسموها سندات البلديات. Investors, these municipal bonds are attractive to the investors. You know why? Why it is attractive?
Because they return it like it is, even.
What it means like it is?
Like equal.
Okay.
The same money.
You are right, but
I give the company or the.
So why investors? If I give you $100 today, and give it back to me $100 after 2 years. So what? Save it? Okay, save it with my. Why investors are looking to maximize their wealth? Be careful. So why they give the municipals money for free?
Social responsibility.
Yes, could be, but this is more.
Sure, they will be paid back.
Yes, but something else. Yes, because of tax. Because it is tax free. You know the investors. Because it is taxed free. So this is why investors are welcoming this particular municipals. Okay? عادة الفائدة بندفع عليها ضريبة. أعطيك مثال. لو أنا بدي أستثمر في corporate bonds, and the corporate bonds is 9%. As an individual, I will receive 9%. But the government coming say, oh, you have to pay tax. What is the tax? For instance, 30%. So 30% times 9%, so you have to pay 2.7% to the government. And what is the rest? Is 9 minus 2.7. This is your return. Okay? You see? Again, let's see how taxes work. Now, we have two investors, and we have two bonds, one corporate and one municipal. So this is municipal bonds, and this is corporate bonds. This municipal bond takes 5%, or give 5%, and this gives you 6%. So you prefer to invest in corporate bonds. But hold on. This is tax-free, and this is taxed. Let's calculate the tax. The tax is 30%, and the tax here is 0%. So now, 30 times 6, it is 1.8. Right? So 6 minus 1.8, it is 4.2. Yes? 4.2%. Compare 4.2% with 5%. So the investors here get benefits more in municipal bonds than the corporate bonds. You see? This is important decision. Sorry? Yes. Because investors are investors. And go back to the definition of investors. Maximize their wealth. There is something for charity. But this is after taking the wealth. بعد ما هم يعملوا maximizing the wealth تبعتهم بيصيروا يعملوا للcharity. So you know the difference between the capital market and I explained financial intermediaries, money market, and the capital market is explained if you look at here, and accept the examples of this. I talk about the commercial banks and examples here in the United States. We talk about some examples in the commercial banks. Non-bank financial intermediaries, such as financial service corporations, we will focus on financial services corporations. We talk about insurance companies. We talk about investment banks, investment companies. We will talk about them in next meeting. Okay? Any question? Any question before leaving?